Featherweight bout here. Ricardo Ramos coming at plus 115 against Charles Jourdain, sitting at minus 145. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 135 for the over, plus 105 for the under. Should be a good scrap here. Hopefully, Ricardo Ramos makes weight. Last time, he came in at 154 for a featherweight bout, and that one had to get scrapped. So cross your fingers that he makes it to 146 at the highest. And Charles Jourdain coming off the win against Kron Gracie. Was a good bounce back win for him. He was on a 2-fight losing streak. And that was, I would say, a smart performance for him. A very smart performance because we kind of know him to be a wild fighter. He kind of locked it in for that one. He knew he didn't want to go to the ground with Kron. And it was a good maturity fight for him, I think. So going into this one against Ramos, who kind of fights wild like we know Jourdain to, I'm interested to see how he does. If he fights wild again or if he's, trying to stay a little bit more calm and not get caught with anything. But he's a dog. Ricardo Ramos is fun to watch. Always got to watch out for that spinning back elbow. Should be a good fight. Who are you taking in this one?
Yeah, I just don't trust Ricardo Ramos right now. I just don't trust him to come in there and stick to the game plan to beat Charles Jourdain. Like, if he wants to beat Jourdain, I think he's going to have to come in and wrestle right off the bat and, really control him and stick to that and not get up there in these wild exchanges and try to strike with Jourdain. I think that Jourdain's striking is really good, and I was thinking maybe I'm giving him too much credit because he is looking good against guys like Kron Gracie, who is not a striker in the least bit. But then you go back a little bit further and, he's really piecing up guys like Andre Ewell, even against Shane Burgos. Like, he outlanded him 113-42 in strikes. I mean, the guy can strike with the best of them, even against Nathaniel Wood. Like, he clearly lost the fight, got taken down 5 times, but the strikes were somewhat close when they were standing. Nathaniel Wood landing the bigger shots, but Jourdain's volume is there. He's not this big power knockout puncher, but he's slick enough to do damage, and he's slick enough to really stay active at all times when this fight's on the feet. So I'm going to pick Jourdain to get the win just because, like I said, I don't trust Ramos. But if Ramos comes in and takes Jourdain down, that's a realistic path to victory for him. But at the same time, Jourdain's also pretty slick with the submissions and off his back. He'll always be working for stuff or even using some, different submission attempts to get back to his feet and just keep it standing. So I do think Jourdain wins this fight. I do think if it does stay on the feet, even though Ramos shouldn't engage in that brawling style with Jourdain, I do think it could be fireworks and a lot of fun.
It's a fun fight. I do have to say, for Ricardo Ramos, the weight miss is like a concern for me. I'm like, how do you miss weight by 8 pounds when you were once a 135 and now you're at 145 and you still miss weight by 8 pounds? It's super weird. So I don't know where he's at in his career to be like, I don't know if he's still motivated or what went wrong there, but it's very concerning. If I'm looking at Charles Jourdain, he's somewhat of a fan favorite. A lot of people like him. I like him. He's fun to watch. And then the fight against Kron, I would expect his takedown defense to be pretty good right now after preparing for Kron Gracie. And I do think if Ricardo Ramos wants to win this fight, I think he's got to mix in some takedowns because he hasn't been the highest volume striker on the feet. He's got a negative strike differential. Charles Jourdain, pretty positive one, sitting at 5.78 landed compared to 4.3 absorbed. So he can put a lot on you, and that usually just looks better to the judges. So I like Charles Jourdain in this one. He's never been knocked out either. Knock on wood that he doesn't. He could catch a spinning back elbow, and I completely jinxed it. But I'm going to go with him. I think he just outvolumes him on the feet. He should be able to stuff takedowns. And if he does get taken to the ground, it's not like he's a fish out of water or anything. So I like him. I'll take him for the pick.